Mike Kennedy, M005 Kennedy with you, and we're reviewing, this is more of an opening reviewing, because we're going to do it a little more depth, a $9.99 hunting knife and pouch, full tang, ergonomic handle, and stainless steel blade, made in China, of course, from Tractor Supply Company. I just saw this and I guess the way it was designed impressed me a little. I mean, it's got a case. I like this, the fact that it's got a guard here. That's something I like in knives. Prevents you from getting your hand up by the blade. It's got a molded handle that looks like it won't break. It's got a lanyard hole. And in this case, it's stainless steel. Now, let's just say something about stainless steel versus high carbon steel. Stainless steel won't rust and is harder to sharpen, but it holds its edge long. If you were to want a knife that you put in, especially a knife you want just to be perfect when you want to be able to use it whenever you want to use it, like in some type of a survival kit or in the car or something like that, stainless steel is the way to go, because it's going to be, this could be get wet and everything, and I just have to wipe it off and it would be fine. Now, bushcraft people prefer high carbon steel. And why is that? Well, because high carbon steel can be sharpened in the field, and it's just easy to work with doing that. And if you're doing a lot of things constantly with a knife will need to be resharpened, and so it's easier to do it with high carbon steel. And high carbon steel is softer and it's easier to sharpen, so that's the difference. So we're going to first do, which I just assume it's going to flunk this test, but here's the test that everybody does, is to see if you can slice paper with it. Oh, wow. Oh, a little tearing. A little bit of trick to doing this too. You can see I'm not getting perfectly, but so I'm going to say that's reasonably sharp right out of the package. So that's not bad at all. Now it comes with this canvas case. It's not too bad. It has a belt loop, actually a little too small for the wide belt that I'm wearing. It has a clasp here. For some reason it has this little flap. I assume it was just cheaper to make it this way, to fold it over and stick it in there rather than sew it. But it does fit in there nicely. It flips over and latches. Now, what I would put with this, and I bet I could make, I'll see if I can make something to attach this. This is a ferrocerium rod, so that would be nice to have right with this, and that way that would give you the smallest version of a survival kit, a knife, and a way to start a fire. These ferrocerium rods work very good. Now this has a rounded off spine, so it's not going to start with the spine. Now I could take, and I might do it, I could take my Dremel tool and flatten the spot on this knife so that it will strike better. But of course you can just use the blade. Of course we have to scrape off some of the coating that's on the ferrocerium rod, but you can see you can start a fire all right with this. If I scraped off more, and actually you would be pulling it back. There we go, now we're getting some good sparks. There. And people don't like to do that because they don't like to wear their blade down. So the idea is most people like to have a flat spine on the back. This is rounded, which makes it very comfortable. I guess if it's so you can, you know, put your thumb like this, so you get a better grip if you're pushing. So I guess if I was going to flatten it, I would flatten it right here. This looks to be, I didn't bring something to measure, but it looks to be about a 4.5 inch knife. Looks to be about maybe a little under 1/8 of an inch here. But I think this is, for how sharp it is that I just saw, for 10 bucks, I think this is a pretty good knife. Now, it's just funny, I was talking about, no, I wasn't talking, but I was watching actually a video by Jason Hunt, and he was talking about having kind of the ultimate knife, a real survival knife. And he said one of the things, and I've heard this from other people, so I know he didn't just make this up. One of the ultimate tests of your knife is you're supposed to be able to stab it into something really hard, like a tree. Then it's supposed to be able to bear all your weight. In other words, the tip's in like this, and you can stand on it or hang on it, and it won't break. I doubt if this would do that. Usually that would be a thicker blade, and this doesn't even tell what grade of stainless this is. It just says China on it, so you have no really way of knowing. I would think you could still pummel with this, and pummel just means hit something like this, because it has its full tang. The tang goes all the way down, and I don't know if this material would crack or not. It does have these torque type settings in the screws, so you could take those off. I suppose you could replace the handle if you wanted to. I don't know if it's glued or not. But I guess I'm saying for 10 bucks, this isn't a bad knife to have with you, and especially if you want to construct some type of kit. If you go out hunting a lot, or you go out even walking or hiking a lot, it's always good to have something, a knife with you. It's always good to have a backup, and this could be it. You could have it in a kit in your car or something. And like I say, you know with this, because it's stainless steel, that you can have this sitting in your car for years, and it's going to be exactly the same as when you left it. It's not going to be rusting or anything like that, where, again, the disadvantage of a high carbon steel knife is you could have, say this was high carbon steel, and it was in the car, and some snow got in the car, it got wet. When I needed it, I could pull it out and find out that the knife was quite rusty. So that's one advantage stainless steel has. And the disadvantage is it can't be field sharpened easily. So, but like I say, this appears to be pretty sharp. Not scary sharp, as they say, but pretty sharp, let's say that. And like I say, with the addition of this very inexpensive ferro rod, if I can put this on somehow, I'll be all set as having this as a mini. Gee, I could almost cut it down and put it in somehow here underneath. I don't know, we'll figure it out. But there you go. Just to let you know, I'm going to redo my most disliked video, which is I've got a video that compares the whole issue of stainless steel to high carbon steel knives. And I guess it really offended people that I got this really cheap knife for $5. It was a Mora clipper knockoff. In other words, made in China, made to look like a Mora, and it wasn't a Mora. But, and I purposely let it get rusty. Well, everybody hated the video because I showed a knife with rust on it. But what I'm going to do is redo the video, talk about the difference between the knives, and what we're going to do with that knife, which I still have, and it's still rusty because I did that on purpose. We're going to take that knife, we're going to remove the rust, we're going to put a patina on it, which means a light surface coating of rust, and that helps it from ever rusting again. In other words, you get this light thin coat. It doesn't keep eating down into it. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to oil the knife too as well. So that will be interesting. I saw someone on YouTube using vinegar. I've done a Mora knife before with a potato, and the patina, it did do the patina, but it didn't look nice at all. It just looked kind of blah. But this other guy on YouTube used vinegar, so I'm going to try that and see if I don't get a kind of a darker color that he got that kind of almost looked like it was put there by the manufacturer. So we're going to give that a try. So we'll be redoing that video just so I can get more thumbs down. But for now, here we go. $10 knife that certainly you could throw in a kit or have as a backup, have as a starter knife. And you know, you can always start with something and work your way up to something else. Mike Kennedy saying have a good day.